No matter how prepared you think you are for polygyny, when it happens, that's when you're going to know if you really have ever been prepared for it. So yes, there's going to be that gap. There's going to be that withdrawal, into self, trying to rethink things, doubt yourself, question yourself. What is it? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Haritha and my kunya is Sulaim. Welcome to my channel. It's been a while. So we have a case, okay? Let's just listen and don't just watch and waka past. No, please. This was not meant to be a channel where you just come watch and go away. No, that's not why this channel is here. The original intention was to make this a community. Do you understand? A community where we share opinion. Of course, we'd agree and disagree. It's fine. It's human. So if you are watching right now, you are actually one of those I've been hoping on building a community with. So don't just watch and walk up past. No, you're not going to do that. Anyway, so we have this case and it says, "Good evening all. I'm new here and there is this question that has been bothering me for a while now. Seriously, if the first family was so important to a man and he so loved his first wife, why marry again? Why hurt people's feelings? Why allow us invest so much emotions and at the end of the day you prefer your first family more and spend more time and spend more on them? It hurts so bad. I'm actually thinking of quitting. I've been bottling so much inside." And my heart really goes to this sister because no one, whether first, second, third, or fourth wife, deserve to be treated as second-class citizen in their marriages. Yes. However, there is quite a common trend with polygyny, and I'm sorry to say with second wives. Let me say second wives and men, because men, they run the shows. One of the flaws that lead to this kind of feelings is the very beginning. More often than not, these men start off this relationship, this courtship with potential second wives as though there is something wrong with the first wife that they need a new wife to rectify. And we also have sisters who love a situation like that. Yes, there are many women who love situations like that where there is an existing issue between the man and the first wife, because they believe somehow that if they should get into that kind of marriage, they are really going to be favored. They're going to be pampered. They're going to be loved and cherished. Why? Because there is not going to be competition. It's a dead on arrival kind of thing. Even though there is a woman there, she's already not really existing, simply because the man has already made them feel that there is an issue. He no longer loves the first wife. He doesn't even want the marriage again. These things are quite common. We know. I'm only staying in the marriage now for kids. She is not the kind of woman I want. My family forced me to marry her. It was not a love marriage. We know the story. We know these lines, and it's endless, men. Okay. Oh. Anyways, these men go about these things this way, and for these women who are not seeking marriage but are seeking to win a competition hands down, then ding 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 ding, they get into the marriage and they realize that this man has lied, probably just told her what she needed to hear to get her to agree to be his second wife. And then she gets there. In the beginning, it always looked like it's really the case, because at that time, the first wife is still, hurting, transitioning, still angry, sad, disappointed, and all of the emotions put together. So there is going to be that kind of gap, because even she wouldn't even want to be too much in the man's life at that time, because she needs to heal, she needs to transition. So in that beginning, it's very easy for you as an incoming wife who had been told that there is a crack in the marriage, and that is the crack you are being brought in to fix. And that beginning is also when this man is just having you in his life. So there's also going to be that aspect of him being all over you, being with you, and basically all that thing he promised. He's going to be all that in the beginning. Now, please, this is for these honest men, because there are men who are very honest, and from the beginning to the end, they're just the men they should be to their first, second, third, or fourth wives. Yes. So for these kind of men who already laid this impression that something was wrong with the first marriage, they're the one we're talking about here. So when this woman comes around, or when eventually that crack of, oh, you brought in another woman, starts to heal, you see this man drifting back to the first wife. Now, when she's coming off of that emotions, this man would have also missed her. So in a way, she, despite being the older wife, is now the new wife in a way to him, because for some time she hasn't really been that wife to him. They haven't really been in that space, you understand? So now that the woman is coming around, he also wants to, be there. Now, this is actually when second wives, a lot of second wives, not all, please, because there are some who are so honest and genuine from the very beginning. So, these kind of women, when they now see that this man is drawing closer to the first, their word is going to come crashing down, because it's not in the plan. They didn't plan for it. It was not factored at all. What they thought, what they believed, and what they looked forward to was probably even a deepened crack in whatever crack they had before, a deepened form of it, so that she can occupy space properly in this man's life. So when these kind of things start to happen, or maybe for men who also actually had issue with their first wife and married a second wife to punish the first wife, and then somehow they resolve the issue, you tend to see that, I don't know, he's still very much and deeply in love and whatever you can think of with the first. He actually was just childish enough to say, you know what, I want to teach you a lesson. I'm getting a second wife. So you were just a warfare in a situation like that. So when these kind of things start to happen, this is oftentimes when a lot of complaints come about, oh, this man is now this with the first wife. If you knew you so much loved her, why did you come for me? You were doing this for her, you were doing this with her, and all of that. Number one thing you should know is that this man does not have the capacity to be just and fair. Because ideally, you should not be put in that situation where you have to worry about that level of injustice. If this man is a fair person, if this man is just, and a just man is a just man, he's not going to be unjust in your favor, nor is he going to be unjust in the other wife's favor. But as women, sometimes we just like the temporary sweet lie than the permanent, genuine, and not so sweet truth. For example, a man who established boundary from the get-go. He's not over pampering you. He's not spending the time that is not your time with you. You say, oh, this one is like he does not love me and I'm the new wife. He does. He's just trying to be just and fair. But no, it's not a kind of man many second wives like. It's the one that immediately they came in, this man forgot that, oh, he has a family, or maybe the wife is transitioning, but he's like, you know what, if you like, you come around, if you like, don't come around. His focus is now all on the second wife. And this is the kind of man a lot of second wives like, oh, I'm the queen now, I'm the every now. But what you are forgetting is that he is not just. And it's only a matter of time before the table turns and be in your disfavor. So these are things to watch out for. A man who has the capacity to be unjust or unfair later, you would somehow be able to sense it by the way he is already putting extra and unnecessary, attention, to you, paying unnecessary attention to you, especially if it affects the stability or the joy of the first home. It's only a matter of time before the table turns. If he's not even going to turn the table towards being all of that to the first wife again, a third wife is coming and he's going to just play it anyhow, the way he played it anyhow when it was your turn as well. Now that is one. Another reason a lot of people get so broken, it's possible this man didn't even lie. It's possible this man was even honest and just basically wanted another wife and got another wife. But a lot of us, by default, tend to believe erroneously that men go for other wives, for more wives, because somehow they are not okay or happy with the first wife anymore. Even though he didn't tell you that, there are women who actually automatically, by default, believe this. Now, when you get into that marriage and realize that this man is very much in love with his wife, loves his wife, values his wife, respects his wife, treasures his wife, he just wanted to add another woman Now you're going to be so disappointed because you had already convinced yourself with something different. So please do not go into marriage as a subsequent wife believing that there must be something wrong with the first wife. Because no human is perfect for sure, I know. The existing wife is not perfect. You are not perfect. The man is not perfect. None of us is perfect. However, for you to think that there is an imperfection you're being brought to feel is setting yourself up for emotional disaster. Honestly, you don't want that for yourself. So these are actually things that before you say yes to that man, entertain it. That, can I really stomach it? Can I really stand seeing this man still over heels in love with the woman in his house that he has been with for so long? Now, this is not to discourage anyone from being a subsequent wife. Definitely not, because all of us cannot be first wife. All of us cannot be only wives. However, you need to be honest and sincere in your intention when you are choosing to become a subsequent wife, just so that you don't set yourself up for a huge but avoidable disappointment. These men will tell you anything the moment they want you, especially a subsequent wife, because some of them know that, oh, some women are not so keen. Some women are not so keen into, being a subsequent wife. So they will do everything, say everything, tell every lie there is. Some of them, not all men, please. Anything they can just to convince you that, you know what, you're coming to be everything that I need in my castle. If your reason for marrying him is because he says, oh, I no longer love my first wife, please don't. At the end of the day, if he chooses to ignore you, the first wife is willing to accept him because she also wants to win him over and prove to you that even though you are in the house now, I am still his queen. And if the man also chooses to misbehave to the first wife, the second wife is willing to accept him, even though he's very unjust to the first wife. The second wife is willing to accept him and just to prove the point to the first wife that, oh, even though he has known you the longest, I am the queen now. So at the end of the day, is women against women. Please don't do it. Don't get into polygyny with the wrong reasons. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.